guys, Jesse here from Progressive Strength and Conditioning. Today we're going to run through the push-up, okay? So first thing I want to talk about is just our setup position. What I'm looking for is hands shoulder width apart, okay? We can get slightly wider than that. We don't want to be too narrow and we don't want to get way out here, okay? So think shoulder width apart. The other big one is we're splaying those fingers nice and wide, so we're getting used to our wide hands, externally rotated shoulder, which we'll talk about in a sec, to carry over to our handstands and some of our more advanced gymnastics movements, okay? So like I said, shoulder width apart. The next part I'm looking for is that external rotation of the shoulder again. So if I'm setting my hands on the floor, we want to think of it basically the same as we think of a squat. So when we're screwing our feet in the floor when we're squatting to create that external rotation of the hip, it's going to be the exact same thing with the shoulder. So when I get those hands planted, I'm going to squeeze those shoulder blades down my back, think about twisting my hands in the floor to create that nice stable shoulder, keep those shoulder blades squeezed back, and that'll eventually lead to those elbows in tight, okay? The next part of it is the hip position, okay? So we want to keep nice neutral spine all the way through, and what that's going to look like with a push-up is our hollow position, okay? So again, we've kind of talked about the hollow briefly, but basically what that's going to look like: rib cage tucked in, lower back's flat with the floor, butt squeezed, toes pointed, generally arms overhead. But with our push-up, we're going to be hands directly below the shoulders, okay? And even a little bit in front. If I think of my top of my push-up position, again, we're butt squeezed, so we're in the hollow. Shoulders are going to stay stacked basically right over top of our knuckles, okay? So that's going to lead to my bottom position. So from here, what I'm looking for as we drop down, hips and shoulders are dropping at the exact same time. So as my chest falls through, I load with the shoulders first, then the elbows, keeping them tight to the body. And in this bottom position, elbows are stacked right over top of the wrist. So you can see where this gets me in this externally rotated shoulder position, elbows in tight, nice tight core. I'm going to squeeze the butt and push straight through to the top, okay? So a lot of things happening there, but the biggest things are we're maintaining that nice neutral spine, so we're keeping the back flat the whole time, we're keeping those elbows tight to the body, keeping those shoulder blades squeezed down and back, okay? The big thing with this, guys, we see lots of people, especially in big classes, especially with beginners, we end up with elbows way out here. So what it's going to look like in the back push-up position would be either elbows back, or even worse, elbows way up to the side here, okay? The other big fault we see is that arch through the back. So when I'm getting set up and I don't have that midline stability, say I start set up in the top here, chest comes forward and down, I go to push, that huge arch through the back, okay? So what I'm looking for, as soon as we get set up, butt squeeze, abs tight, okay?